on right now.
Well, good morning, Madam Administrator.
Good morning.
It sounds weak.
That's, man, just to be honest, it doesn't sound like you're.
Okay,
Ooh.
we are recording and out to YouTube. Whenever you want to.
Even if Heidi's not on, I mean, it's just such a big amount. I mean, sure, we can handle this ourselves, right?
I think so.
It's $438. I think we can do it.
It is 11 o'clock. We'll call to order the Isabella County Board of Commissioners Finance and Administration Committee meeting. We have an agenda before us. Are there any desired changes or additions to the agenda? Pretty light agenda. Hearing none, we'll do a call to the public. And nobody online?
Nobody online, nope.
Then my understanding is Heidi's not with us yet, so we're going to take our first item 4 and hold that back a little bit to see if she can join us. Since we don't have a large agenda, we're gonna move right then into number 5, which is the invoice list discussion. So we have 3 invoice lists before us, October 11th, October 18th, and October 25th. On the October 11th, we have a couple of pretty significant. Clark Construction for $1,235,674.06. And that is the September construction charges for the correctional facility. Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority, $152,321.50. That's the liability and property insurance a payment for the county. We have some drain work. We have some supervised care for youth in the county. We have our payments to HATS for their biweekly payments, integrated architecture for the correctional facility. That's a little bit closing on 12,000. Do you have any questions on any of the larger bills or any of the background bills?
No, I just thought it'd be good to point out that Jackson County Youth Center and McBride Quality Care for direct supervised care through our courts for child care totaled $57,000. You know, we have on a back burner somewhere this idea of creating a regional juvenile care facility. And I think it's one of those things that at some point in time, I think we should seriously consider down the road. We get our financial house 100% in order and we have the ability to move forward on something like that. That's all I have.
Okay, moving on to the October 18th list. We have our payment for the temporary rent of the administration building there in Pickard, $16,593.65. The Train US Incorporated, $155,000 courthouse rooftop HVAC unit. That's a capital improvement. That's not a.
No, that is the rooftop unit that, if you remember, a little while back, facilities director Shoemaker was looking to have, I think, Trainer, I'm not sure who it was, to come out, and we were having a lot of issues with it, and we're trying to push to see if it's still covered under warranty, or have them look to see if they're going to maybe, you know, cover some of that. But in the meantime, that unit has been out for all summer at the courts, and the courts have been without the AC and having some pretty warm areas in there. So I'd have to, Nicole, if you want to hop on, I think this was to get that unit in there, and then we're kind of looking to see if anything can be done with the current unit to work with the vendor
Right.
to,
You're absolutely right, Melissa. When Director Shoemaker brought this forward it's been several months ago, he had talked to the board. He kind of exhausted all of his efforts in trying to get the vendor to make the equipment operational. And the board approved just above 196,000, as I recall, for a new unit. So this 155 is obviously a bulk of that 196 that's been approved by the board. The rest is in labor and crane rentals and, all the stuff to actually install the new rooftop unit. Aside from that, as Melissa mentioned, we're still trying to go and seek some sort of payment from the vendor for the rooftop unit that failed. And that's now with legal, and as Director Shoemaker schedules the installation of the new rooftop unit, this old one is actually being preserved, for that legal action. So I'm sure we're soon to see something brought to the board in this regard additionally, but suffice it to say, this is to get the trial court operational for HVAC, just as we go into the cool days of fall, I'm sure.
Okay,
Because as I understand it from Director Shoemaker, the idea was if we were to try to go the legal route for remediation and get them to fix the unit or to replace the unit, this could take months, maybe years. So as opposed to doing that and causing the courts building to suffer and the people who work there to suffer, go ahead, put in the new unit and then backtrack and see if we can seek remediation from the vendor that put in the original new AC unit. Is that-
Absolutely, yes. And I think he came to you, I feel like it was this spring when, it's been some time ago when he came to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
well, I appreciate it. I knew that we needed to do something with the courthouse rooftop, but I hadn't been updated on what our standing is to recover any of those costs because of the apparently the oil that was used was the wrong oil, and there is one positive outcome. I am on a facilities committee with our parish in Shepherd, and they had an HVAC unit, and the recommendation was to change a part and put in a different oil. I shared the experience with the county, so we did get through ours, and ours is working fine, so.
Sure.
Any other questions on the bills here in the background?
Not on this invoice list, no.
Okay. Moving on to the October 25th list. There's only a few in this list. I don't see anything. Double check one thing on the back here, down here. Do you see anything that you have questions on?
I did have a question for Madam Administrator.
Yes, sir.
It was brought to my attention that possibly the county could use the CMU mailroom and their machine in order to process our mail. Is that something that's even possible? I know we have our own machine, correct?
right, we currently utilize CMU mail.
You do, but not to the fullest extent is my understanding that we could utilize them more to save money. Is that
Well,
something?
well, they do charge per
Per
piece
piece,
of mail.
correct.
Mhm. So we currently, at the 510 building, and it was the same at the administration building. We had, you can use our postage, post your mail, especially if it had to be sealed or if it was something confidential or some that you put it in that bin, and then you can just put your mail in an unposted bin, and CMU mail comes to pick that up. I'm not sure where it goes, if it goes back there, what they get it out and get it to the post office, for us. So we're utilizing them in that capacity.
Right.
But what you're saying.
Could we use them to a greater extent? To where we don't even, where we could save money, maybe whether we don't use our machine and go strictly through them? Is there an opportunity here to save money? Because I spoke with somebody who does work at CMU mailroom, and they feel like we could be saving money. So if you'd like, I can look into it more. I just don't know if it's even, if that's even an option for us. That's why I wanted to bring it up. So,
I think it's a really timely question because our, I think we lease currently our mail machine at 510 that
Okay.
serves a lot of our departments, right? That lease, I think, is up in December of this year. And so Julie's been researching options. So here's a great other option to look at the numbers, look at what we've been, paying for pieces of mail processed through CMU and what that would be comparatively to leasing a mail machine or purchasing one, because that's really been the
Hmm.
comparative that we've been looking at
okay.
is, lease or buy. You kind of present a third option to us that we can put actual numbers to.
Okay. Is that something that, do you feel that's worth exploring?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's timely because we're already exploring, what to do in this regard. So we just have another option to decide from it sounds like.
Okay. And who's basically in charge of deciding which option we go with? Does that be you or,
Yes.
okay,
Mhm.
we'll leave that with you then to explore?
Excellent. Yes, yes, yes. And if you have further input, let us know. Like I said, I think the current lease expires in December. If we sign a new lease, that will have to come to the board. But if we expand our existing services with CMU mail service, I don't think that would have to come to the board.
That'd be just a decision you would make,
Correct.
move it through as
I
long as
believe so.
there's a savings there.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be a cost, it would be a savings. Okay. well, I pre-
Maybe, just because there is a per parcel
Right.
cost, so we'd have to we'd have to look and see how much we pay to lease the machine
Versus
versus,
per piece cost.
mhm,
All
and how
right,
many pieces of mail we put through there.
right.
We put a lot of mail.
Right.
We send out a lot of checks, don't we?
I was gonna say, I'm looking at this, there's a lot of mail just in these invoices I see. So, like I said, maybe there's an opportunity, it may not be much, but,
We'll look at it to see what.
okay.
What's the best way.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Sorry for the
No, that's
tangent,
fine.
sir. I just want,
Good
brought to
topic.
my attention.
Good
Okay.
suggestion. Anything else on the October 25th list?
No, sir.
And we'll move these forward then to the work session and we'll move back. I see Heidi's with us now. So
Senior
we'll,
project
item number
manager.
4 is consider approving prime contract change order number 28 for Clark Construction in the net credit amount of $438 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Where's the party music? Yeah, it's a net
What's
credit.
that?
Where's the party music? It's a net credit. They should have come with bells and whistles.
Well, I still notice that every once in a while, even when there's a cost, it's already been factored in and we seem to gain a little bit on the
Yeah.
buyout. So
Well, Heidi's been really good at,
Heidi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being patient with us running a little late on our progress meeting this morning. As Mr. Jerry Jelinski, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, and I apologize.
You're right on.
I was right on. Hey, I got it right. PCCO number 28, which you have in front of you. Yes, it's a credit to the project of $438. Remaining buyout that we have is $45,764. We have not touched contingency at this time. And our total buyout contingency amount that we have remaining is $827,538. We're roughly about 92% complete with construction at this point. And I believe we have 38% roughly remaining in of the controllable construction costs. So kind of running through the PCCO here for you real quick is PCO number 140. This one here was at the visitation window. One of the frames was the height wasn't correct for the ADA frame. To try to save some money there, we reused the frame, and we lowered it. And it made some minor adjustments to it in the field. So with that, we just had, small amount of cost compared to what it was originally of $1,306. That was from buyout. Our next item was, PCO number 151. This one here, down the long corridor, Nicole, Jerry, and Chris, if you're walking that, kind of from like the loading dock area and you go all the way out to like towards area A, there was accent colors. They were kind of like almost striped every like about 10 feet or so.
How do you,
By eliminating those, we saved like $480. So that's a credit to the project.
so Heidi, you're talking about the beige mile?
Yeah, the beige mile there. Yeah, there you go. Instead of the green mile, yes. Yeah, so there was accent colors and sheriff didn't want those there, so we removed that there.
Okay.
The next item was PCO number 155. This one was the out in area C, the showers. On the architectural drawings, they showed to be black, and in the plumbing drawings, they were stainless steel enclosures. Sheriff wanted to continue with the stainless steel enclosure, just easier to clean. So with that, we did have to make some changes to the exhaust for the showers, and then also to the light fixtures in there as well, and adjust those items. And then also the exhaust fans. Oh, I think I mentioned that. And then we had to add some additional caulk in that area there. So the total cost then that came from buyout was $5,322. Next item is PCO number 175. This here was for the DTC panels that were shown on the drawings. These are for your building management system. There was no data figured for those. So we needed to add that, running it back to the IDF rooms. So that was a cost of $1,833 from buyout. Next item here at the main entry, we had a bench that the sheriff didn't want out there. We had two of them, actually. We removed the one. So that was a savings of $2,220 into buyout. Our next item here is door gaskets for A116. We need to add those in for any of the like IDF and MDF rooms for the clean agent. So if it ever did go off, it would not leak outside of the room. So that item there was a cost of $603 from buyout. Our next item is PCO number 187. The room that we have our temporary office in right now, the conference room. The control panel that controls, there's two smart screen TVs in these rooms. It's set up for like a training situation. That panel controls the TVs, controls the microphone and the camera and everything like that. Where it was mounted would not work where it was with the TVs. So we moved that to where the podium is going to be. And also it was shown on the drawings at a lower height. So that was the other problem with it. So moving that over to that corner then is a cost of $448. And that was taken from buyout. The next item is PCO number 188. The door that is next would be the employee entrance door coming into the building on the north side. The one door was not spec'd to have a door handle on the I believe it was on I believe it was on the pull side. So that is kind of a necessity. So that there was a cost of $456 out of buyout. Our next item here, at the exercise room in area C, that's the room for the inmates to kind of walk around and get some fresh air and stuff, because we do have a louver in there, which is over, we have an overhead door that's over it. They can open that overhead door. When they had that door open, they also had some cane screen there. Because of the height where it's at, we asked the sheriff if he wanted that cane screen. He did not, so that was a credit to the project of $4,510. The next item here was a request by the sheriff, so that the under sheriff, jail administrator, assistant jail administrator all can view the video management system. In the project, we only had 2 licenses, so we needed to add 2 additional. To do that, it was $1,307, and that is a one-time fee. They'll have that the life of the building or their system, depends on if they change it out. And then the next item here, the pass-through drawers, sheriff requested that we change manufacturers. By changing manufacturers for these drawers, then we had a credit of $4,523, and that went into buyout. So the total cost of this one here was a credit of $438. Was there any questions?
Well, none from me, Heidi.
None for me.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Would you like to make the motion to move this forward to? Forward second?
I move to take consideration for approving prime contract change order number 28 with Clark Construction in the net credit amount of $438 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same to our work session Tuesday night.
I will second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. It moves forward.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Great
Thank you,
weekend.
Heidi.
So. I wonder, in future agendas, if we can just flip the announcements and the call the public. Do the same thing as our regular meeting and work session.
You recall the public next.
Yep, we'll do a call to the public. Next, are there any announcements?
None from me, good sir.
None from me. With that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 11:20.
Madam Administrator, I do hope you feel better soon. Goodness.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, sir.